Alright, are we on? I believe we're on. Let's see. Channel. Wait, so you guys are seeing this, right? Oh my gosh, I freaking get it. Okay, let's do this. Close this out. Make it, wait, close that. Make this bigger. And close this one. Bring you over here. So, am I live on Twitch? Or what's happening here? I don't know, and it's hurting my head. So, well, guess we'll figure that out in a second. So basically, what we're gonna be
Guys, he's behind us. I hear him breathing.
We're literally just gonna be watching videos on what's wrong with the world today. See that one video that I was talking about another day ago. This one, yeah. I'm a little bit late.
Turn your best idea.
Hello again, friends. Sorry I've been gone for quite a bit. Hopefully nothing too crazy happened. I feel like every time I take a break, like, a war breaks out or something, but thankfully that did not happen. But at least we found out the real Epstein files were the friends we made along the way. Welcome back to the Shoe on Head channel. If it is your first time here, run. I am Shoe on Head, and on this channel I like to cover cultural issues, mostly surrounding men's issues. It's one.
By the way, I'm on the ground because it's kind of embarrassing to talk about, but I'm on the ground because we don't have a desk. So, you know, just sitting here with ice cream, strawberry flavored, with water. Yeah, I know it's a good combination. Then we got my gaming chair right there, and I'm not using it, so yeah. Anyway, let's get back into the video. This is Shoe on Head. Check her out. Here, hold on. Let me get mine. Right here. I actually really do like her content. She's very based. And she's awesome. Anyway.
What I've been doing for over a decade, and frankly, I'm exhausted. Many of you have been along for the ride, and you have seen me go from a chipper, lively 24-year-old making fun of BuzzFeed and Tumblr feminists, to a bitter, calloused 34-year-old talking about very real and growing men's issues. One of the main men's issues I have been covering in great detail lately has been the male loneliness epidemic. Yeah, but turns out, I was wrong. We don't have a male loneliness epidemic. We have a male loser epidemic. It's not a male loneliness epidemic. No, it's a male mediocrity epidemic. It's a male.
I hope y'all know. I think this is me personally. The male loneliness epidemic is like men really just showing girls and stuff like that, or women, whatever you want to call them. If you really want us gone, or if you really don't need men and stuff like that, then how come you're getting so butthurt or upset that somebody's calling us out for having a loneliness epidemic or being too lazy to like talk to women or being too scared? Like, in my opinion, personally, Whenever I date for the long term, even though I'm not really old enough to date yet. I mean, some people would say that. I don't care. It's my life. I can do whatever I want with it. Just not a lot of crazy stuff like what women be doing. But um, I'm gonna continue the video and I'll share my opinion afterwards. After like I pause again. Anyway.
A loser epidemic.
The male loser epidemic has gotten so bad that it's honestly so pathetic at this point.
Now, I don't always talk about men's issues. No, sometimes I talk about politics, and sometimes I mix the two together. Now, I know a lot of you don't like politics, you don't care about politics, but politics cares about you, and it will enter your life no matter how hard you try to avoid it. But thankfully, I have the perfect app to help you navigate this difficult, confusing political landscape. So let's quickly give a shout out to today's sponsor, Ground News, before skipping the ad. Right? Now, let's get back to the video.
You definitely don't want to miss the great deals this season. Summertime savings right now at Raja BC Mazda.
With all these issues men are facing, they seem to be moving to the right and the Republicans more, since the left and Democrats have essentially just become the young men eat and die movement. Months ago, I covered how the Democratic Party was losing young men, and I predicted Kamala Harris would lose in part because of young men overwhelmingly voting for Trump. And I was correct. Well, now the Democrats have unveiled their final solution to the right-wing male loser epidemic. Democrats spending millions to learn how to speak to American men and win back the working class. Democrats have blown millions of dollars on efforts to appeal to American men who turned to President Donald Trump in droves on Election Day in hopes of winning back the working class. Democrats have spent $20 million on their efforts, with donors and strategists holing up in luxury hotel rooms, brainstorming how to convince working class men to return to the party. Ah yes, nothing
$20 million in that. That kind of hurts my head. Dang. That's like kind of pathetic, if you ask me.
more relatable to working class men than luxury hotel rooms. Great job, guys. The plan? Codename Sam, or Speaking with American Men, a strategic plan.
They came up with a full code name for this? Bro, what kind of what kind of world do we live in where this shit is real? Like, this is real. This has to be fake. There's no way. They're coming up with this stuff because they don't know how to speak to American men, young men. It hurts my head, man.
Promises to use the funds to study the syntax, language, and content
Hold on, my hair's messed up.
that gains attention and virality in these spaces. The effort also recommends Democrats buy advertisement in video games, among other things. The Democratic Party is treating young men like exotic animals they're studying. Now, as you can see here is the young man in his natural habitat, in a dark, messy cave surrounded by Taco Bell wrappers and empty Mountain Dew bottles. Here is another young man, as you can see, also dwelling in a dark cave. This one has dyed his hair blue to scare off potential predators. Unfortunately, it also scares off potential mates, but moving on, here is another young man, we think. We're not quite sure about this one. We're still studying it. Listen, Democrats, instead of spending $20 million to do that stupid maybe you should, I don't know, actually listen to.
So I actually heard something about him, about this guy, that apparently him and Tecton have something going on with each other or something like that. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I did hear that somewhere, and I was like, oh, that's okay. Well, we'll have to see how that works. And I was like, okay, maybe I can read about this and stuff like that, so on and so forth. And if you guys are in chat right now, I don't know what's happening. Hold on.
Quite sure about.
Nothing's happening in chat. Okay, perfect. Bring this out. Minimize you. No. Where did it go? Okay, so if I go to my Twitch, that's what I'm streaming on, right? Let's so how does this work again? Anyway, don't mind that. Let's see.
About this one, we're still studying it. Listen, Democrats, instead of spending $20 million to do that stupid maybe you should, I don't know, actually listen to men. I listen to men for free all the time. All I have to do is read my comment section. Let's see here. Shoe on Head is a perfect example of why we need to repeal the 19th. Greetings from Albania. I hate women so much it's unreal. Ooh, shoo, mommy, milkies, mommy. One time I got my penis stuck in a soda bottle. Okay, on second thought, maybe my comment section is not the best source.
Since Trump scored big with young male voters last election, Democrats are spending $20 million to learn how to speak their language. I think it's a waste of money. Maybe these guys should spend their money on teaching men to not be such sexists. Maybe that's it.
But the stats don't bear that out now that...
Look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men. There are a lot of young women out there that want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to have stable families. But there are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash.
Oh.
That's like 10% of men. I promise you that's 10% of men. And you're probably not even talking about like how hard it is to get a job these days. Like right now, I'm still in high school, so I can't really have my say of things like that. But I know once I get out of high school, I'm going to struggle to either get a job or I'm going to struggle just to live. Either one. And it's gonna suck. But I know that if I continue to do things I want to do and save up money while I stay with my parent, well, I guess parents, yeah, that makes sense. I can get enough money to go to college for what I want to do, which is stop motion animation and content creation. Kind of, not really. I do this as a hobby almost. And I want to do college first, get out of college, get a good job for animation and stuff like that, and then maybe after animation's all said and done, YouTube content. There you go. Easy as that. You just live life on the smooth sailing. That's what the plan is. But I have a plan B where I would just become a really good mechanic. I know a lot about cars. I love cars. And that's as simple as that. But for you to say, like, most men are always going to stay in their mama's basement, it's because it's so hard to get a job. And it's a lot of it is the thing about people crossing over the border illegally, which, yeah, I agree it's wrong to cross illegally, but, like, I don't know how to put this. If we keep getting our jobs taken away, it's also because, yeah, there's not enough slots for us, and two, not a lot of people want to do those kind of jobs. They want to have different kinds of jobs, or some of us don't want to do the jobs at all. Some of us are going to have to wake up, and some of us just need to look for better opportunities or take those opportunities that need to be taken. Anyway, let's continue.
Oh no. The very night I was sitting on my couch writing the script to my video about how the Democrats are spending $20 million to relate to young men, This came on my TV on Fox News. A Tommy Lahren and Laura Ingraham segment about stay-at-home sons, men who still live at home. Literally minutes after this aired, it went absolutely viral on Twitter for not good reasons. So we are going to unpack this piece by piece. Because even though everyone was mocking it and making fun of it, as far as I saw, nobody was really dissecting it and breaking down exactly why she was so egregiously wrong. So come join me in debunking the male loser epidemic. Because who else better equipped to talk about men's issues than two stupid blonde bimbos? Hold on one second. 3 stupid blonde bimbos. Sorry. I felt left out. All right, let's go. Wait. I need my gamer fuel. See? I do drink it. That one's for you, Tectone.
It's a major problem. And you know, Speaker Johnson has been talking about those maybe deadbeat folks that are on Medicaid, and maybe some of those folks are the stay-at-home sons. We don't know. But I'll tell you this, leave it to Gen Z to rebrand laziness and social awkwardness.
The frick did we do? Wait, am I Gen Z? Frick, I just got into it. Fork, man. I didn't even do anything. Oh well.
As something cutesy, like a stay-at-home son. But Laura, I gotta tell you, this is also a big problem when it comes to, I think, declining birth rates, people not getting married and having children. You know, that's a big problem.
That's also women not wanting to, like, get pregnant. Ever think of that?
They blame it on women. Well, look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yeah.
No, they're not. Women are just blind to see good men. It's that simple.
Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men. There are a lot of young women out there that want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to have stable families. But there are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash. And that's why we have declining birth rates and a lot of other problems in society. It's time to go out, get a job, breathe the fresh air, meet people in real life. Let's just get back to basics.
So first of all, this stay-at-home son thing is not a real thing. It was a random throwaway, self-deprecating joke some contestant on Jeopardy said. One f***ing guy. Because I guess there's nothing else important going on that they could cover on the news. They literally made this into a fake phenomena so they can on young men. Meanwhile, Democrats are spending millions of dollars trying to win back young men. Oh no, the young men are leaving us in droves. How do we get them back? Don't worry, I got this. Hey, you fat, lazy, Cheeto dust-covered slobs, f*** you. Nice. Thanks. I love you. I love you too. Is the amount of young men living home with their parents increasing? Yes. Is it because they're lazy bums and just want to order DoorDash all day? No. And also, they're not paying for DoorDash, Tommy. They're financing it. Come on. Get with the times.
There are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash. And that's why we have declining birth rates. It's time to go out, get a job, breathe the fresh air.
Have either of you tried applying for a job as a young man recently? Or tried buying a house on the salary of one of these young men? Have you experienced the dating market, been on the dating sites as a young man? No? Interesting, okay. Just wondering. Listen, I know the average age of a Fox News viewer is like 70 nowadays and you need to pander to them, but Tommy, you are like 2 years younger than me. You know this shit isn't true. Why are you talking like this? Why are you talking like a f***ing boomer? I'm sorry, I have no other word for this, but I hate this like generational pick-me shit. I was born in the wrong generation. I'm not like those other young people. And you know what? She's not like those other young people. Not all young people can afford a nice nose job and lip filler and get a cushy job on Fox News based entirely on merit, I'm sure. The main problem with this brain-dead boomer-ass take is not only is it cringe, but it's completely divorced from reality. This slop is specifically designed for people who paid like $5 for a house. And listen, not all boomers, okay? My parents are boomers, they are lovely people. A lot of you guys are boomers, but when the baby boomer generation sends its people, it is not sending their best. They are not sending you. They're sending people who have lots of problems. They're bringing the housing crisis. They're bringing wage stagnation. They're falling for AI-generated photos on Facebook. But some, I assume, are good people. But my god, I truly believe they do not understand how good they had it. They could support a family on a single income. A single income from a job that didn't require a college degree. Their leaders didn't prostitute away their economic future for some cheap plastic shit from China. They inherited the greatest economy known to man, and they pretend it's a paradise that they earned. I just don't understand, like, why don't boomers and spiritual boomers like Tommy Lauren see people struggling and go, wow, I wish I could fix this. They should have it better than I had it. And you wonder why so many millennials and zoomers don't want kids. I want to make the world a better place for my children. I want to make the world a better place for my children. Ugh. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you spoiled brat. Children. Not happening.
Well, look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men.
Young men are becoming lazy because they're becoming feminized. So they're becoming lazy because they act more like women? What did she mean by this, chat? Yeah. I know there's like a decrease in testosterone or something happening, but men are—
wait, how do you even react? Like, how do you even respond to yourself after that? Like, I don't think you can come back after you realize you messed up saying something that bad.
Are moving right-wing all over the world. Does that correlate with the feminization? Or, I mean, there are suspiciously a lot of far-right femboys, so maybe. But here's the thing, Tammy. There is absolutely no—
I'm sorry, but— Huh? Why? Why are these things?
Maybe. But here's the thing, Tammy. There is absolutely no evidence that young women want to start families more than young men. None. In fact, all the data says the exact opposite. According to Pew Research, 64% of women younger than 50 say they just don't want to have children. No reason, they just don't want them. Versus 50% of men who say the same. Another study by Archbridge Institute shows the same. 63% of women without children said they have no desire to have a child, while only 50% of men said the same. For men, the most commonly cited factor was personal finance, but among women, the strongest reason not to have a child was their desire to maintain their personal independence. Basically,
like, that's just saying that you don't want to have kids just because you don't want to have kids. That's not giving a good reason. Now, men saying that they don't want it because of finances and money and stuff like that, that's perfectly understandable. You don't want to pay for kids, like, oh wait, that sounds wrong. You don't want to pay for the kid at the time because you don't make enough money or other problems that you don't want, and that's totally understandable. So I don't get why women are getting so mad about men not, excuse me, about men saying, oh, they're staying in mama's basement all the time. Oh, they're just not wanting to get, they're just becoming more feminist. That's not the problem. What the problem is that women don't really have reasons of why they don't want to have kids. And whenever they try to get mad at men, they don't have any good responses to it.
They don't want to give up their brunch and mimosas. They've been ass-blasted with propaganda their whole lives, telling them their lives will be ruined, their bodies will be ruined, they'll never have fun again, they'll be miserable forever if they have children. And as someone who has had a children, best decision I've ever made. 10/10, highly recommend, would do it again. But yes, this idea that men are the ones primarily responsible for the low birth rates is laughable. We're laughing over here. But honestly, it's not really women or men's fault. There are a lot of factors that play into this. But Tommy, I really gotta ask, is it men or is it you?
This is going to be the summer of canceling boys. All of my friends are attractive. All of my friends are successful. All of my friends have something going on. Almost every single one of them have an issue with men. But if all of these women, including myself, are having issues, then I have to think it might not be us. It might be you. It is not just the guys in Los Angeles, Nashville, Dallas, and they're not any better in the Midwest. Quite frankly, I think they're trash all over this country.
My friends are successful. Men don't give a shit about that. They'd marry a Walmart cashier if she was nice to them.
I think men between the ages of 20 and
You know, that's true. If some lady says that, or not says, if somebody is nice to me and nice enough to talk to me or go out of her way to talk to me and stuff like that, and she works at Walmart or Walgreens, bro, about like 2 years into talking, or not talking, what? About 2 years into a relationship, boom, seal the deal.
30 are not ready, in most cases, for marriage, are usually not ready to be husbands and fathers.
That's a cultural issue. So,
Are you a Roblox fanatic? Microsoft Rewards has a brand new way for you to earn digital gifts.
He's definitely right.
look,
No, I would actually, back to your point, I think it's a biological thing.
So let me
What? You know what?
get this straight. Men are all trash and won't commit and won't leave mommy's basement, and they're destroying the birth rates. But also young men are biologically incapable of commitment and being parents. What? But wait, there's more! She also believes women don't have to bring anything to the table. And as a woman—
No. If I'm working my butt off every day to bring money, to bring attention to you, to bring attention to the kids, to bring myself happiness and everybody else happiness in this household, you need to bring something back for me and these kids. Simple as that.
And I want a strong man who is a protector and a provider that will go to war if need be, that will protect me, protect.
Well, if that's what you want, then you have to give us something back in return. Because if you don't, then it's just so messed up for us to not want to commit. Or not messed up. It's so logical for us not to want to commit to you. Think about it. Like, if you're saying that men aren't committing, it's because the way you have a mindset.
My family, make money, but I don't think a man needs to get something out of it to be a manly man.
Yes, they do. What do you not understand? That
Protector and a provider. If you think you need to get something out of it, I quite frankly don't consider you a real man.
Never before in history have women demanded so much and offered so little. So before we get deeper into this retarded, manufactured, stay-at-home son narrative, let's check the Facebook comments of this Fox News video, because I am really interested to see what, like, the typical Fox News viewer thinks about this. If the women are anything like these two, I can hardly blame the men for staying home and not wanting to date them. Blame, blame, blame. These two women have a combined age of 93, and they have 0 children between both of them. You both have repugnant personality types, so listening to this was like male birth control to me. My goodness! Boomers are ruthless! Bunch of sissies. I served 6 years, 2 years in Southeast Asia after Vietnam was over. When I was 18, rent was $450 and I could afford to get my own place. She's so spot on. Nothing screams I'm a loser run from me than a guy living at home in his parents' house with his 12-year-old boy's bedroom decor at age of 30. Thank God we raised our sons to be men, who grew up, lived on their own, found their soulmate, got married, bought a beautiful home, and started a family. I was out the door at 18, worked on the assembly line at Dodge and in the Air Force at 19, never went back home. I can't relate to this. Yes, we know you people can't relate. We know. But the world has changed. Why can't you people get this through your heads? I will never let my sons stay home. I'm trying to push them out of the nest. Okay, I really gotta ask, is this an Anglo thing? Immediately kicking your kid out when they turn 18 years old? My Mediterranean mind cannot comprehend this. And honestly, why the f would a man leave home, leave his mother's cooking, for a woman who probably can't—
If I had to leave my mother, and I put this on my life. If I had to leave my mother right now, I would never. I would have died on the spot. Because you're asking me to leave behind the best. Wait, actually? Now I have to think about what my favorite thing is that she makes. And if you're watching this, Mom, I'm sorry, but this is gonna be painful for you and me. Okay, asparagus, specifically the way she makes it with bacon. Oh my god, bro. The best thing on the planet. The way she makes her popcorn, I cannot leave that. The way that we make movie quotes together. Like, if we're cooking or if we're just talking around and stuff at the house, we'll just yell out random movie quotes from just stuff that happened in front of us. Because it's funny and that's how we talk to each other. If I have to leave out to go to a woman who does not know how to cook anything, barely knows how to make cereal, which is concerning, and doesn't know anything about movies, I'm not moving in with this woman. Mom, we're making extra room for this extra spare bedroom. Simple as that.
Cook. Not me though. Personally, I can cook amazing homemade meals. I'll have you know I am a great trad wife.
If only, bro. If only I was one, old enough, and two, met her around the time she was ready to commit to a relationship. This right here, W wife. That is wife material. You give me dino nuggies, and that's what you bring to the table, or like good cooking and I guess other things, like as in like give me attention and give me, well, not attention mostly, but like you know, like stuff that would be useful for men, and then something that I get rewards from doing other things to help her and the house. If I get dino nuggies for dinner one night with ketchup and like a Capri Sun, bro, I'm going to be a child for that night. I don't know about the monster.
Wix gives you the power of AI to build the website you need. With full...
That's a W dinner.
Bone apple teeth.
Now, unfortunately, Tommy Lauren wasn't the only one pushing this stupid lazy young men go get a job bullshit. Mike Johnson did it, referencing 29-year-old men playing video games all day. Steve Scalise did it with 35-year-old men playing video games all day. And just the other night, I saw this on my TV. Again.
A Wall Street Journal headline got our attention. The new dream job for young men, stay-at-home son. It's a phrase that's taken off since 27-year-old Brendan Leo won $59,000 on Jeopardy. And he has a master's degree in political science, but he's unemployed. Grow up, get a job, get a wife, build a family.
Just get a wife, bro. Just get a job, bro.
Oh, get a job? Yeah. Just get.
It's not that simple. Women, nowadays, mostly are jerks to most men. They see us, and they're like, oh, it's a man. He's most likely toxic and, what's the word? Broke. There's a reason why we don't date. And there's a reason why we stay at home. Because it's safe here. We know we get loved here. Not in the way we would want to be loved by a wife, but loved in the way where we have a vision of people like us. Or not. Wait, what? That made no sense. People actually view us as actual people instead of just, oh, this person sucks, or like people that just suck. Like, we actually get seen by our parents, we get seen by people that we play with on the game, and that's why we stay on games.
A job? Why don't I strap on my job helmet and squeeze down into a job cannon and fire off into Jobland, where jobs grow on jobbies?
The term welfare queen must have fell out of fashion with Republicans, because it seems even they know the approved safe demographic to go after now. Because it's very obvious what demographic they are talking about when they say young men in their basements playing video games. This just get a job lazy attitude is not surprising, but it's especially funny coming from Fox News of all places. Fox News that spends so much time yapping about immigrants taking American jobs. Fox News will talk for years about how Americans are being screwed out of the workforce. But when this issue manifests itself in Gen Z, suddenly it's a moral failure. The fact is, a lot of American jobs held by men are being lost to automation, offshoring, and yes, cheap foreign labor. Companies and billionaires would rather have cheap labor that they can essentially abuse, not pay fair wages to, just good little worker drones who won't unionize, rather than hire American workers for a living wage. The cheaper the labor they hire, the more money they make. I remember when Bernie Sanders called open borders a Koch brothers conspiracy.
Open borders?
Open
borders. That's a Koch brothers proposal, which says essentially there is no United States.
But it would make a lot
of
of global poor richer, wouldn't it?
And it'd make everybody in America poor. Then you're doing away with the concept of a nation state.
Where'd that guy go? A lot of these jobs being taken are jobs traditionally held by men, like construction and factory jobs, manual labor work. But it's not just manual labor jobs, it's also the tech industry and business industry, which are careers also mainly held by men. There are many examples of this, such as Microsoft recently cutting thousands of American workers while requesting 14,000 more H-1B workers this year. Some of those job positions include data scientists, which are 70% men, software developers, which are 80% men, and electronic engineers, which are 90% men, and many more like that. Another example of this was Tesla, where roughly 15,000 American employees were fired in April 2024, and many were replaced with H-1B visa holders. On Twitter, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy tried to chalk this up to these immigrants just simply being the best and the brightest. Yeah, okay. You're paying them less for longer hours and more work, and they're willing to deal with it in order to stay in the country. It's coercive, exploitative, and, dare I say, not very America first. When conservatives confronted Elon Musk for this last year, he told somebody, and I quote, "Take a big step back and yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend." So when it comes to replacing American workers in manual labor with cheap foreign labor, it's deport, deport, deport. But when it comes to replacing his American workers with cheap foreign labor, it's yourself in the face. Interesting.
Grip, stability, precision. That's the essence of driving. Lawfin.
There's also affirmative action and DEI, which are other things Fox News always pisses and shits about. But suddenly, when the conversation is about Gen Z men, the demographic of people who are victims of these things, suddenly these things just don't exist anymore. Then it's, oh, young men are all just lazy. They just want to be in their parents' basement ordering DoorDash and playing video games. But it's not just the brown people taking your jobs. I am not beating the allegations with this one. The brown people are not taking your jobs, okay? It's not their fault. They're just cheaper. Aim upwards. But it's not just the brown people taking your jobs. It's the women, too. Many of the dying industries...
That I will agree with. That women do take a lot more jobs. Because women want to take those jobs because they feel more empowered than men. And they think they can do more than men. But some jobs that men do, they think they can do, and then realize later on, oh, I can't do this job, right? And they try to stay in, and then that just leaves the men that are at home no jobs to have.
Are male-dominated, while many of the growing industries are female-dominated, and stigma around these jobs being woman jobs usually stops men from working them. Women are overwhelmingly entering and excelling in college and the workforce, and they're more flexible about job position and pay, while young men usually hold out for higher-paying, higher-position jobs that will make them the breadwinner. Because you see, despite the world progressing and the role of women changing, the role of men has not changed. Every woman is a feminist until the dinner bill comes. But what's crazy is
that
women...
Wait, it's actually kind of funny. It is true. Yeah.
Not changed. Every woman is a feminist until the dinner bill comes.
Yep. That really makes me upset that some women do that.
But what's crazy is women might be the ones paying that dinner bill soon. A study from the UK found women aged 22 to 29 earned about 1,000 more annually than men, completely reversing the traditional gender pay gap for this age group. In the US, a 2022 Pew Research Center analysis showed that women under 30 out-earned men in many metropolitan areas, with median earnings at or above 100% of men's, in cities like New York and Washington, D.C. That may not sound like a lot of money now, but it's a growing trend that has never been seen before. It's so bad that it's really starting to affect the dating world. American women have never been this resigned to staying single. They are responding to major demographic shifts, including huge and growing gender gaps in economic and educational attainment, political affiliation, and beliefs about what family should look like. More women than men are attending college, buying houses, and focusing on their friendships and careers over dating and marriage. The challenges of finding a romantic partner have been made more complicated by a growing divide in education and career prospects between men and women. In 2024, 40% of American women ages 25 to 34 had a bachelor's degree, according to Pew, compared to 37% of men. A bachelor's degree increases net lifetime earnings by an estimated $1 million. Women are doing comparatively well when it comes to education in their early years in the labor force, and men are doing comparatively badly. Men's economic struggles seem to be having the biggest effect on women without a college degree, whose marriage rates by 45 have plummeted to 52% for those born between 1930 and 1980, according to research by Cornell University. Young men without a degree are struggling so much as a group that there simply aren't enough with steady jobs and earnings for non-college women to date. Men are poor, women most affected. Modern women are no longer tied to their gender role. Birth control has freed them from the prison that is their biology, and they are making their own money, sometimes more than men. They can have it all, they can do anything, they can be anything. While at the same time, men are still expected to be the provider. And more importantly, many men still want to be the provider, but they can't. And women, though strong and independent.
That is true. Once I get out of, like, my mother's house and I get out of college, I want to be the provider of my house. I want to be the breadwinner. I want to be the man of the house. I want to be able to take care of the problems that are in the house, like plumbing, like taking care of the car, and I want to do stuff like that because that makes me prideful about being a man. If the woman I'm dating or the woman that I'm married to starts taking away those jobs from me, it makes me feel like less than a man. And that hurts a lot to think about.
Dependent still want men to be the provider.
And as a woman, I want a strong man who is a protector and a provider that...
Yeah, that is true. Some women will say that they don't want men, and then they still want a person to be the protector and provider instead of themselves, which makes no sense.
will go to war if need be, that will protect me, protect my family, make money.
Basically, men are like, we're worried we're not making enough money. And women are like, we're worried men are not making enough money.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. And sorry about these guys. I don't care.
Hello class, I am Miss On Head. I am substituting for your teacher today. She was arrested for molesting a 12-year-old boy. So today we are learning about the graph. This is the growth in productivity versus hourly compensation graph. And you can trace almost everything bad happening in society back to this graph. As you can see, productivity increased while compensation barely grew over the same time period. Notice they tracked very closely up until around 1972. Now, what happened around 1972, class? Well, the top marginal tax rate was reduced from 70% in 1964 to 50% by 1981. The federal minimum wage began to stagnate. Income going to the 1% rose from 9% in the 60s to 16% in 2023. CEOs also went from making 20 times more than the average worker to making 350 times more than the average worker. Anything else? Anything else happen around 1972? Yes, Jimmy, that is correct. Women joined the workforce around this time, but we don't have to get into that today. The fact is, hard work no longer guarantees success, and the will to work is tied to the fruits of your labor. And young men are fed up today because 90% of that fruit is rotten. Now, is there some truth to modern young people being lazy? Sure, I guess. Every generation had lazy people. And we do basically live in late-stage mouse utopia, after all. Young people today are faced with two options: revolution or escapism. And a lot of them are choosing escapism. Many have basically given up, but it's not like they didn't try. They tried and they found out the juice just isn't worth the squeeze, whether it's college, dating, or the job market. And in a way, many young men are kind of choosing revolution. The never before seen large shift rightward in young men is a small revolution in a way. They're saying, this isn't working for me, this sucks, I hate this, I want something different. This is also manifesting on the Democrat side in general. The young men that are still voting left are voting further left. You saw this recently in New York City, where Zohran Mamdani, a self-proclaimed Democratic socialist, won the Democratic primary. Young men are tired of the establishment, left and right. They're tired of the system and they want to burn it down and start again. They want something that works for them because this is not working for them.
If you wake up one morning and you find yourself in a society where 23-year-olds with 4-year college degrees and like initiative who aren't smoking weed every day, if they can't make enough to buy a car, much less a home, much less get married, much less have children, then why should you be surprised when half of them say they prefer socialism?
Yeah, that's true. Men won't make enough money for a lot of things nowadays, and it's a sad truth.
Huh. Fox News should hire that guy. There is an entire generation of fighting-aged men who are enraged and feel like they have nothing to live for. You should probably start caring. When they saw this airing on Fox News, they saw an angry woman nagging in their faces about how everything wrong in the world is their fault. An all too familiar thing they have been hearing for far too long. But unfortunately for Democrats, nobody under the age of 60 watches Fox News, so this is not really going to have an effect on young men whatsoever. So keep that $20 million. You might still need it. Unless we get dragged into another war in the Middle East. If we do get dragged into another war in the Middle East, young men might come running back to the Democratic Party. Maybe not. Maybe not even a George Bush II electric boogaloo will have men coming back to the Democratic Party. Hopefully we don't find out. And as I'm editing this right now, a lot of young people, even the podcast bros, seem pretty upset about the Epstein thing, but we know Democrats won't take advantage of the situation in order to protect the Clintons, so maybe not even this will save them, but
I heard about that.
We'll see, I guess. Hold on one second. That's better. So that was that video. What do you think of the male loser epidemic? Do you agree with Tommy Lauren? Is it all men's fault? Leave your comments below. I read them all. I am probably reading them right now as you type them. Wait, don't write that. No. You can't say that. No, it doesn't matter if it's with an A. If you like this video, please subscribe, and if you can, donate to me on Patreon or leave a little tip with a little tip jar down below. I'll give it a little heart. It helps the channel, and I appreciate it so much. And I will see you guys again soon with a new video, a new slop video, because I know you gremlins love that shit. Bye!
Okay, so actually, I did this before stream, not this video. This one right here. This one was crazy, how people were saying like, oh, this is literally just a fetish. Dang, like, you're just hating on men for no reason. Anyway, that was a really good video. Really did like that one. If you guys liked it, please check out Shoe on Head. Let's see the next video. Papa Meat, I haven't seen him in a while. Let's see what this is.
Game of Thrones King's Road is now available on both PC and mobile with Google Play Game.
Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Coming and sitting down because today we're going to be talking about one thing I think a lot of people think we do on this channel. Fake disabilities. Living with a disability can create significant challenges in one's daily life. Not only do you have to adapt to physical and cognitive limitations, but the entire process can take on you financially, emotionally, and even socially. Of course, many people are still able to thrive and live a great life even when living with a disability, which has bred a wholesome genre of content on platforms like TikTok, where you get to see people living with shit and also just being like, I don't give a fuck, dude. It's my life and it's now or never. I'm gonna live with a disability. These videos showcase people with disabilities excelling at certain tasks, spreading the message that their condition doesn't limit them from doing what they want to do, and it opens up a conversation about how society looks at people with disabilities, discussing things like employment, discrimination, and accessibility issues. While most people wouldn't wish these conditions on their worst enemy, they would gladly play the part for a day if it means gaining something in return, like streamers who pretend to be paralyzed for pity donations.
Easily outgeared. Oh my god.
That's why today we're going to take a look at people who fake disabilities with motivations that range from financial gain to freaky and bizarre perversions, because it's a Papa Meat video and we go there. Sorry. So without further ado, today we're talking about people who fake disabilities. People have been using this wave of positive disability content for something far more sinister, like the birth of AI Down syndrome thirst traps. I just had a fucking stroke. Holy shit.
I'm sorry, what? What have I missed?
It's become a trend on Instagram and TikTok to use AI filters that alter one's face to make people appear as if they have Down syndrome. Accounts have been taking horny female thirst traps of OnlyFans content and altering them to look disabled, using captions like, "Does having Down syndrome mean I won't find love?" while they shake their ass at the camera and they pop their pussy and all that kind of stuff. And the comments are just fucking insane.
That's messed up.
Some of these boys, man, I tell you what. They need to find God, is what they need to find. Many of these videos are being used to advertise OnlyFans accounts, which often seem to be run by fully AI deepfake models. Some of the videos being used to promote adult content were taken from women as young as 16 years
What?
old. This trend has resulted in a massive spike in search terms like Down syndrome fitness girl and Down syndrome beautiful girl. Many people are disgusted by the trend, not just over the ethical qualms of deepfaking people without their consent, but the exploitation and fetishization of Down syndrome for profit. While in most cases, the source videos are stolen by anonymous users, some creators have purposely utilized these filters to ride the wave and boost their view counts. Many have deleted their accounts upon being exposed, as their followers could clearly see that their Down syndrome randomly appeared out of nowhere when the trend started. And the issue gets even worse when you see just how many people are willing to fake disability out in the real world rather than just online. It takes a wild lack of shame to willingly do something like this. And when it comes to people that can't experience shame, nobody can hold a candle to Disney adults. That's right, baby, we're talking about Disney adults.
How did we go from that to this? I love Papa Meat, yeah, don't get me wrong, but you know what? We're just gonna go with it, okay?
Did you see it?
At Disneyland parks, there used to be something called Guest Assistant Card, which aimed to accommodate guests with disabilities by creating a less stressful environment. The GAC pass allowed people to access alternate ride entrances, enjoy air-conditioned waiting areas, receive front row seats to shows, and sometimes even bypass lines entirely. People slowly began realizing that they could abuse the system in order to improve their Disneyland experience, and soon tons of people began faking disabilities to get one of these fucking cards, man. In some instances, people with legitimate disabilities started illegal businesses in which they hired themselves out to strangers to allow them to receive benefits.
What? Okay, wait, what? So they would make other people, like normal people, pay to act like they have a disability? That is insane amount of, like, just using them for money. That's crazy. Dang.
Disney adults would pay for disabled people to enter the park with them so they could get the fuck pass. Hello! The rampant abuse got so intense that Disney had to eventually change the entire system, replacing it with Disability Access Service in 2013. The pass required slightly more effort to obtain, requiring an initial meeting prior to the visit. Yeah, so they basically made it to where it's like, what is it, like a pre-check for a flight.
They're coming straight in. Trust me, I've got nothing.
TSA pre-check
to make sure.
Yeah, the Disney adults were like,
I don't want to participate anymore. I wait in line. It's too hard now.
Now, rather than bypassing lines, DSA pass holders would be given reserved time that allowed them to walk freely instead of waiting in long lines. Of course, this soon became heavily abused as well, and Disney eventually got fed up with people pretending to have disabilities, instilling a lifetime ban on anyone that was caught lying to receive a DAS pass, which, to be fair, I think is fair.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're faking
Yeah.
a
If
disability.
you're faking the fucking disability, it should be a one-time. It should be like, okay, no more.
I'm sorry, I hate waiting in lines.
The constant abuse of this system has resulted in the DAS passes being much harder to obtain, to the point where people with actual disabilities are turned down when applying for them. Some people have told stories of humiliating interviews where they desperately tried to convince the interviewer that their disability isn't actually real, only to sternly be rejected, which I think is a sign from God to say, this park's kind of fucking cringe. I think I'll just go somewhere else. Am I wrong?
No.
But I want to experience the joy they give at Disney World. I want to walk around with Anakin Skywalker.
Lightsaber?
My lightsaber, and then get an autograph from Goofy.
And blue milk?
And blue milk. And then ride on Space Mountain like a million times.
My DAS pass.
With my DAS pass.
Hell yeah. Do you think they flash it and stuff? People that have DAS pass?
Sorry, I get to cut in front of you.
Yeah, it's like a VIP card. Hell yeah.
I would. I'd flaunt it around. I'd peacock it a bit. Why not?
Sorry, I'm disabled.
Sorry. Sorry about that. My disability allows me to go that way.
Wait! We want to thank today's sponsor, GamerSubs, our longest, most beautiful sponsors on this channel. You can go to gamersubs.gg and get our own flavor, raw meat. That's right, baby. It's one of the best. I'm going to say it's the best right now, and I think I need you to try it right now. It's keto-friendly, sugar-free, and there's non-caffeinated options if you have a little quail heart and it's too much for you. But also, GamerSubs right now has carbonated energy drinks. Move over, Red Bull. There's a new sheriff in town. They got all kinds of flavors right now, guys. And let me tell you, if raw meat keeps going the way it is, they're wanting to put that little bitch in a can and sell it as well. So be sure to check out my flavor, raw meat. And also, if you're unironically just wanting like a carbonated energy drink or more of the shaken energy drinks type stuff, GamerSubs is the way to go. It's fucking awesome. It is a very, very nice product. So thank you so much to GamerSubs for continuously sponsoring these channels. And hey, go check them out. You can get free samples. If you like big anime titty cups, they do tons of drops with different creators. It's just a nice thing for if you're a fan of online content and if you're needing a little extra energy boost. So thank you so much for GamerSubs for sponsoring this video, and back to the video. As it turns out, it's surprisingly common for people to get caught up abusing systems like these in order to reap the benefits. It goes far beyond theme parks, like with a police officer that claimed $600,000 over a fake injury.
Taxpayer money!
That's why fucking money! Nicole Brown, a cop from Westminster, was on a job in 2022 when she encountered a suspect of a crime. During the arrest, the man ended up striking her on the forehead and causing minor injuries. I don't know what that. She had only experienced minor dizziness the day the event took place. Regardless, she took a few days to recover. I mean, she was fucking struck in the head. Come on. Soon after, a doctor put her on total temporary disability, diagnosing her with severe concussion syndrome. She had spent a long period of time off work, fully paid. She accrued over $600,000 while on leave, all the while claiming she was left
completely disabled
over the whole ordeal, and it turned out that she had been greatly exaggerating her condition. During her time off, she went skiing, snowboarding, participated in a 5K race 2 times, went to Disneyland,
hello again,
took college classes, and even attended sporting events. In a particularly absurd revelation, the investigation found that she had attended Stagecoach Musical Festival, dancing and partying alongside thousands of people. She was put on a virtual meeting during an investigation where her stepfather spoke for her, claiming she was unable to process words or thoughts on her own.
Daddy, I need you to speak. I can't.
She was ultimately admitted to an inpatient center for victims of traumatic brain injuries. She was revealed to be faking her disability.
That's what people are doing now. It's just great.
She was convicted of various charges relating to fraud and faces up to 22 years in state prison. I just gotta say too, at a certain point, here's the thing. I think it's a line you ride. I just want to say, she flew way too close to the sun. And to a point too where it was like, I don't think we have the full picture. I bet you she was faking her disability for all kinds of stuff, getting donations. I'm speculating. $600,000 for, I mean, how long what was her salary like? It just seems like there was something to where it's like accruing that kind of wealth that quickly. It's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? What, like,
wait, hold on. Wait. No, I did that wrong.
if her salary was like $40,000 a year, to then go on meetings and be like, "Ugh," fake that you can't speak and shit. It's messed up. Versus, I want to say that the line is also, if you get hit in the head at your job, you're like, what the squeeze a little bit of juice out of it. Game the system a bit to where you're just like, have the government fucking throw you some shit. Also, if the government's watching, Don, I'm joking.
This is a comedy video.
This is comedy. This is like me joking around. Nick, I need you to speak for me for the government right now.
Hello, government. Hunter can't talk right now. He's fully incapable. This is a comedy video. Give us a DAS pass for Disneyland. Thank you.
One place where having a disability can greatly improve your experience is in airports. Because of this, there has been a significant rise in flyers pretending to need wheelchairs. Because as you all know, if you've ever ridden on an airplane before, people in wheelchairs, primarily, why the fuck do old people need to fly? So I'm not going to get into that. Don't even put that in. People with disabilities that need assistance get on the plane, get to go first before anybody, even before the troops, Nick. See, but I've seen some people where I'm like, which is horrible for me to think, right? But I've seen one person where I'm like, this person's more in shape than I am.
Do you remember the nurse who like jammed the wheelchair in front of that 75-year-old guy?
Yeah, it was crazy. We've seen a lot like traveling for work and shit. We've seen a lot of crazy like stuff of people being like, you need to stop. Like people arguing in the like, you know, having like a disabled person in a chair, like, and they're fucking like wheeling them around and doing. It's fucking crazy, man. It's like sock and boppers or something, like Hungry Hippo.
Yeah, some people do that, and it like actually upsets me because like they can't fight back. They're in the wheelchair, probably just sitting there like wanting this to stop, but they can't speak up or they can't like get up and go. They can't do anything about it, and they're just getting flared around and everything.
Those in the fucking line there.
Like,
well,
yeah,
the girl like helping with the wheelchair wasn't even an air like.
No, she wasn't even. She didn't work for any airline.
Well, and the funny thing, she was like, "Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me."
And the person's like, "I see," jamming the person, and they had like the whole Stephen Hawking thing where their legs are all like close together, or whatever, and they were just like being like flung around in the seat, like. Even people online were like, "God damn, dude, calm down."
When fleas go missing, all evidence points to Advantage 2. Get killer protection against fleas with Advantage 2.
I don't need it.
Hey Meta, play something chill.
That's a shame. Cool.
People that require wheelchairs are often given special accommodations to make their flight and airport experience more comfortable for their condition. A man on TikTok abused the system to show people how you could benefit from pretending to have a serious injury. He is seen cutting lines, getting priority boarding, receiving multiple seats for himself, and being wheeled around by airport staff. That's a piece of shit. That's actually a fucking disgusting human being.
Do you remember at the casino, the guy in the wheelchair and the girl that they were going on a cruise ride?
Yeah, this guy had a girl on his lap, and he was like driving around. He like had his hand in the air. He's like, wee. I mean, it looked like it. It looked like he could actually have used the chair, but still, it's like I think that old boy. He was peacocking for sure. It's become much more common for people to abuse the system, which has been referred to as miracle flights, due to the passenger suddenly standing up from their wheelchair once the flight is over. Oh my God, you're healed! After a Frontier flight, one man witnessed 20 people enter the plane on wheelchairs, only for just 3 of them to be used when the plane landed. Another man posted to social media after seeing an entire family of 7 in wheelchairs being pushed around by staff. According to him, all 7 of them got up from the wheelchairs simultaneously on the way out of the airport. It's not common for people to use wheelchairs to get away with things like this. The internet is filled with these posts where people try to request advice on how to fake disabilities to get into concerts and other shows. Yeah. And one post explains how the show they wanted to attend was sold out, so they decided to buy a wheelchair accessible seat as well as rent a wheelchair for the night. He starts asking around for advice on how to make it seem more believable, with tons of comments advising him on how to sell the lie as effectively as possible. People are awesome. To those that criticized him for being an asshole, he responded by saying that he had a great time, adding that people held doors open for him and bought him free beers. It's one thing to do something like this for something minor, like, I don't know, a concert, or I don't know, like when I was young and when you first got your driver's license pass, you go to Walmart and you get in the little rascals and drive around because you're an idiot. You're dumb. As a child, you don't realize that like this is extremely inconsiderate what you're doing. I completely understand that. You're a piece of shit. And I deserve to die. Man, not to that extent, but you know. But this pales into comparison to those who use it to satisfy their sick sexual desires. That's right. Some people will gladly fake a disability simply because they want a nice, attractive woman to change their diaper.
Look at that photo.
I know, this photo is fucking haunting. Rutledge Diaz IV, a 31-year-old man from Louisiana, was found to be paying healthcare workers to change his adult diapers. This man claimed to have special needs and was unable to take care of himself. He posted various fake advertisements online trying to lure in healthcare workers who thought that they were coming to provide home healthcare for a made-up character named Corey, described as his 18-year-old brother who was mentally and physically handicapped. Rutledge would then pose as Corey and have the worker change his diaper to fulfill his strange fetish. For this, he was charged 10 counts of sexual battery and human trafficking in 2019. One victim spoke out about
disgusting to have that. Well, one, as a fetish, and two, wait, hold on, let me fix this. And two, to even do that in the first place. You know how messed up that is as a person to do that? Like, that's just disgusting.
it, stating, quote, "I used to believe that almost everyone in the world was internally good. In this case, I was wrong." And in 2020, he was caught doing the same thing, this time looking for a babysitter for what he described as alternative therapy. When the person arrived at the home for the act, he would hassle them to solicit the same service from another person who could take care of him. Basically, soliciting someone to change his diaper as well because he couldn't do it himself. One of the babysitters eventually caught on, leading him to being arrested from his home and charged with the attempted human trafficking yet again.
They're throwing human trafficking at him?
I wonder what is it. I wonder why human trafficking.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm guessing because it's a sexual act.
Yeah, why is that human trafficking? Maybe I'm just stupid. I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying I don't understand it.
Well, is it because also you're luring someone there with false pretenses, and it's not kidnapping, it's human trafficking, maybe, or something like that? I don't know. Put up a little blurb.
In a world where you've constantly been told what you can't do, who will you choose to be when presented with something different? Ask your healthcare provider what could be.
What?
I don't fucking know. This is the only time someone used.
Serving people in order to benefit from their work or service, typically in the form of forced labor or sexual exploitation. Oh, okay.
I don't fucking know. This is the only time someone used a fake disability to have his diaper changed. In fact, 2 years prior, Paul Anthony McChunka was caught doing the same thing. He would pose as his own mother, calling himself Amy. Amy would tell caregivers that her son had Down syndrome, enlisting caregivers to giving diaper changes and to bathe them. During his baths, caregivers reported that Anthony would become visibly sexually aroused. Jesus. And on 5 separate occasions, he aggressively told one caregiver during bath time that his genitals were not clean enough.
A little fucking sneaky snake.
Not only that, but they were also given special instructions regarding punishments from Amy. They were told to punish him whenever he soiled himself by putting him on timeout and taking away his privileges. One worker took care of him on 30 separate occasions, even referring other caregivers to do the same. Eventually, one suspicious caregiver followed him back to his parents' house, only to find the entire thing was an act. Anthony came clean when the 3 women confronted him. He was arrested over charges of sexual abuse and fraudulent schemes.
Couldn't you just find someone online, like post roleplay?
I think it's the unconsenting act. The person doesn't want you to know. The person wants to feel like they're getting something over. It's a total power trip.
I see.
If the person knows, it probably takes the joy out of this like sick game he's playing.
Where he's just like, they don't know I'm disabled.
Because the healthy thing would be, I don't give a fuck. If you're a guy who's like, I want someone to change my diaper, and you like have someone who's just like, hey, that gets me hard and wet too. I love changing filled diaper. That's your business, right? To have someone who's just like there to legitimately try to help you, to me, it just is even more sad. It takes a truly unwell person to justify doing something this deplorable. But what about an entire team of people faking disabilities? This was the case during the 2000 Sydney Games. During this event, there was a Paralympic basketball tournament specifically for the mentally disabled. People were shocked to see that the Spanish team dominated against the others, ending each game at least 15 points ahead. People became suspicious after a popular Spanish sports magazine reported reported on their victory. Readers started writing into the publication to say that they recognized the people on the team and that they were not disabled in any way. As pressure started to rise, one of the players started to reveal the truth. Not only was he not intellectually disabled, but 10 of the 12 players weren't as well. It turns out that the medical exams performed on the players were incredibly simple, to the point where some players only had to have their blood pressure taken and perform 6 push-ups. Their coach was totally on board with this, to the point where he would instruct his player mid-game on how to look even more visually disabled during the games.
Drool. Drool.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Drool. Here. Like, look around. There's bees. Bees.
A timeout, and you have to tell people, you guys aren't.
Yeah, time. You guys have got to scream more. Act like there's a beehive above you at all times. They come out of it and just like, oh, the team's really looking kind of crazed here. The Spanish Paralympic Committee eventually took away their gold medals, and the team was heavily fined.
And when I had the gold medal in my hand, when they put it around my neck, I was really, really somebody. A week passed, and they were saying that Spain had cheated, and we gotta give back my gold medal.
And of course, things can escalate to pretty insane heights. Some people can take disability scams to an entirely new level. MS-13 went so far as to put people through spinal surgeries to fake workplace injuries into a $1 million lawsuit.
Holy shit.
That is fucking crazy. They would find border crossers or homeless people, drive them to the city and treat them well before pressuring them into joining their scheme. They would then put the homeless people through various accidents like falling off a ladder or falling over at a construction site, making sure to coach them on how to make it extra believable. Then they would go to a sleazy lawyer to help them set up a lawsuit, and from there, they would have surgeons who were in on the scheme as well use screws and plates to fuse healthy vertebrae together. That just sent like such a shock down my spine, dude. Oh my god. Can you imagine, like, you're totally fine, the next day you wake up and someone has like actually screwed and put plate. I mean, ugh.
Not even worth it.
No, god no. And by doing this, they would claim that the injury that they sustained required various expensive surgeries. Business and landlords would be hit with lawsuits that would settle often for at least $1 million. They would pay as little as $1,000 for a struggling person, put them through a life-altering surgery, pocketing the rest of the money for themselves. And they made millions of dollars from this endeavor, with some insurance firms.
That's just like, God, that hurts me to think about so much, that some people will do that.
Claiming up to 650 alleged fraudulent lawsuits in the past 4 years. And let's end things with a satisfying bit of karma coming from China. Zhang, a man from China, was accused of murder in 2005. He had a physical altercation with his uncle-in-law over $76 in rent, and things escalated to the point where he ended up stabbing the man to death. Once again, over a dispute for $76, which in 2005 money, that's like probably $30,000. To avoid prison, he changed his name to Wang Gui and traveled 450 miles away from his home in order to live a new life as a construction worker. To make sure he never revealed sensitive information regarding his crime, he committed to being a mute for the foreseeable future. Gwen Gui. Gwen Gui. Oh, that's right, he's mute.
He just took a vow of silence. I killed someone, I'm not going to talk again.
Yeah, exactly. He's like sitting there, his boss comes over. Hey, did you kill someone over $76 rent? That's right, he's mute. Somehow, he was able to remarry and even give birth to a new child without breaking his mute lifestyle. Didn't have to talk to his wife.
Oh, you think you suck? I think that's alright. You can keep on looking, but can't find nobody like me.
That's hilarious.
Do you think he broke during sex?
Oh. Did you speak? And after 12 years, he was approached by the police regarding a household survey conducted in his village. After realizing that he had no paperwork, he was taken in and eventually given a DA test that revealed that he was the man that committed the murder over a decade prior. Zhang tried to speak to the police and plead his innocence, but he was unable to. His vocal cords atrophied so much over the years that he was now incapable of speaking without a pen and paper. That's some karmatic shit right there, dude.
Yeah.
He was eventually arrested and jailed for his crimes. It goes without saying that there's a special place in hell for people that pretend to have altering disabilities, especially when it starts to make things worse for people who actually struggle with them. Over time, stories like this lead to higher rates of skepticism over whether or not someone is actually suffering from these conditions. Whether it's Disney AAS passes being denied to disability people, or scummy disability scams raising people's insurance rates. Someone is always getting screwed over these selfish actions. And usually, the majority of the time, it's the people with actual disabilities and not the criminals that are out there trying to pass off on some weird, creepy ruse. I just gotta say, don't fucking fake a disability. All right?
You think people who fake disabilities should be put to death?
Jesus, I mean, I guess it's case to case. You know what? Yeah, I think so.
Thank you.
I don't know. I've seen videos. There was a video that went viral for a bit where a guy faked having a mental disability in his town, and he was just robbing people. He like asked for donations, and he apparently made like a ton of money every year. He'd sit there. He did the thing, and he even like it was like a news report.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, and he's like sitting there, and he's like doing his act, and then at the end, he's like sitting there like joking about it, like not giving a fuck. It just makes you think. How do you like not just feel horrible?
My bead boy, I'm just playing. I gotta go, y'all. I gotta make some money. I appreciate you guys busting me. Yeah, I'm really good at it. Really good.
So all I gotta say is, listen, if you see somebody faking a disability in this way, break their legs. If they're faking a mental disability, take a crowbar and beat them over the head. I'm joking. Also, if a guy comes up.
Nah, I'm gonna do it. No, I'm just playing. I'm not gonna do that. I do not condone violence, YouTube and Twitch.
To you and he says, let's fake an injury and let's screw
in game, of course, you know. Like, I only condone violence in game, just not cyberbullying.
Your spine together. You say no to that. Okay. All right. If you're in a pinch, there's other ways to get out of it besides screwing the vertebrae.
That'd be video. That's really long. Excuse me. Oh, what's my notification say? Let's see. Let us see what we got on here today. If you guys want, what is the name? Wait, where did my thing go? Right here. Let's grab the U, put you back, put this right here. I'm gonna get off. Yeah, cause I'm gonna go eat, and then I might play a couple games with my friend on YouTube, so you guys can go watch him live stream if he's on today. I'm not sure, but thank you guys for watching. If you are, I'm gonna head out of here, and later, guys. Let's see. Oh, wrong thing. Bye, guys.